Now, I'm gonna be honest, I kind of hate myself that I even feel the need to do the things that I've done today. By the way, hello and welcome to Thursday. Today's been a day, it's work. It's been a lot. It's been a little rough, but the one thing that I want to talk about today, and this is kind of a big discussion point that I want to discuss with those of you, specifically those of you who live in apartment complexes. We've been having an issue for the last few weeks where one of our neighbors, I don't know if it's actually someone who's living in the complex or someone who's visiting someone who lives in the complex, but regardless, there's a car that continuously parks in our parking spot, and they have been for weeks now. At least weeks that I've been noticing. And it's been getting frustrating. It's been getting frustrating because we actually pay extra to reserve our parking. We pay an additional $15 a month to reserve our parking spot for our car. And our parking spot's not even that good of a parking spot. There is a giant metal pole that is right next to the driver's side door. Like, if you just go straight into a parking spot, the driver has to worry about a giant metal pole hitting them because it's a covered parking spot. And the pole, the support beam, just happens to be right there. So it's not even a good parking spot. Yet, we have someone who has been continuously parking in our spot for weeks now, and it's getting very frustrating because we pay for that. Like, we pay for that spot. And it's just, what sucks is I've lived in this apartment complex for 6 years. I can count on one hand the amount of times I've actually had issues with neighbors parking in my spot, and it was one set of neighbors. When I first moved here, I had a next door neighbor who, her daughter had just gotten her license and just got her first car, and there was a brief period of time where she kept parking in my spot, and that was very short-lived because, her mother, who rented the apartment, knew you can't park there, that's a reserved spot, our neighbor parks there. So there were a lot of times where I'd be coming home late from work, 'cause at the time I worked night shift, and like as soon as I'd park, I'd walk up to my door and I'd actually hear my neighbor yelling at her daughter to move her car. So that's the only time I've ever had issues, and again, it was extremely short-lived. It was like 2 or maybe 3 times ever, and they only lived next to me for like a year. So it was extremely short-lived. So this is something that we never have an issue with. All of our neighbors are usually pretty respectful because a lot of them pay for reserved parking as well, so they all park in their own spots. But for some reason this person has decided, no, this parking spot is mine. And I feel really bad because I feel the need to report this person because it's like you're clearly breaking the rules of the complex. I don't know, it just makes me feel like a Karen. It really does. It makes me feel like I'm just some self-entitled person because it's like, that's my spot, when it's like, it is. I pay for it. I pay an extra $15 a month, I don't know what the math for that is, but it's like, 15 times 12 times 6. Like, that's how much money I have paid to reserve this spot, to make sure that this is my parking spot while I'm living here. I want to make sure I have a spot when I get home. Especially because, especially my neighbors in particular, they have a lot of guests that come over, especially on the weekends. So I want to make sure I have a spot for my car in case someone has a party and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I don't have a parking spot. I want to be able to reserve that so that if someone's parking there, I can report them. So it's gotten to the point that I actually left a note on their car and basically just said, hey, this is a reserved parking spot. You've been parking here multiple times. Please be courteous of your neighbors. And I also reported them. So we'll see how things go. Now, in the meantime, one thing that I also want to talk about is, you may have noticed over the weekend, I talked about the new setup with the splitters and everything for the retro consoles. We ended up going to Best Buy to get those splitters because, well, Amazon messed up and essentially told me, hey, we don't know if you're getting your shipment. The notice that I got was like, it was on an indefinite hold, and then I got a notice saying that it will be delivered, if it doesn't deliver by the 11th, to go to Amazon and request a refund. So, funny enough, it actually did deliver. It delivered yesterday. Now, I wasn't able to go to my P.O. box yesterday, but I got it today. So, cool. Now I have extra splitters. Granted, I'm not very concerned because these splitters only cost me like $6. But I'm actually curious to test them out. I don't know if I'm going to do it today. I'm kind of in a... My brain is in a mushy mood due to a lot of things, so... I don't know. I think the most that I'll probably do is edit vlogs and edit Breath of the Wild. I only have one video to edit until I have nothing, so... I kind of want to get that edited today and then record tomorrow. Because I already know I'm going to be in a good mood tomorrow because, you know, tomorrow's Friday. But, I don't know. Anywho... That's going to be it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know in the comments if you've ever dealt with neighbors stealing your parking spot. And how frustrating has that been for you? Because this is kind of a new thing for me. I've lived in apartment complexes for 8 years now. And, yeah, this is a first for me. So, let me know how you guys have handled it. And we'll see you tomorrow.